All over this broad land of ours, a bit of war is being fought against tuberculosis. Able warriors armed with modern weapons are on the firing line. How goes the battle? Come with me on a journey and let's see what is being done.
¿Qué pasó? What's up, everybody? This is Mario here with my paranormal podcast. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys for coming back and listening to my show. Right now, I know I don't have too much of a crowd, but for you guys that are sticking in with me, thank you guys for being my loyal listeners. And for you people that are new listening to my show, basically this is just a paranormal show. Whenever I like to go out and investigate, whenever I do have a chance. And when I do, I come back and I like to present my my evidence right over the air, and I'll whatever I catch. If I get an electronic voice phenomenon, I try to play that back for you guys. Mainly, that's all I really can do because this is a podcast. But anyways, this is my show, and I'm glad you guys came back. So what do we get? All right. 3 weeks ago, I took a trip with my fiance. Took a little trip up north to Kentucky. Basically, we did the 6-hour overnight investigation, which was pretty rad, pretty cool. It took us about 8 hours to get there from North Georgia. Well, maybe a little bit under 8 hours. I think about 7 hours. But anyways, it was a pretty cool drive, man. I mean, we basically just drove. We just drove. It was a nice scenic route. Pretty much all of North Georgia. You go through Tennessee. You go close by the Smokies. And it's kind of funny. It's so cool. I never knew this, but you basically hit like 3 or 4 states before you even get to Louisville, Kentucky, which is kind of crazy. I thought I thought it was just going to be Tennessee and then Kentucky and then Louisville, and bam, we're done. But no, we had to drive about 4 hours up north out of Georgia. The worst traffic was in Georgia. Then again, I'm not a big fan of the traffic in Georgia. It's, in my opinion, it really stinks. But traffic going up North Georgia was kind of crazy. We finally left we left Georgia, went through Tennessee. We got like a little chunk of North Carolina. Then I think we got a little tiny piece of West Virginia, and then we got a little piece of Indiana. I could have sworn we got some of Indiana, and then we got to Kentucky. So it was crazy. We were like in 3 or 4 states in the matter of just a couple of hours, which was kind of insane, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. Everybody was really nice. Just the treatment that I would get at the gas stations whenever we stopped to get food or whatever. Just very that southern comfort. just that, very, very warm and friendly for the most part, very warm and friendly people. Me and my fiance, we ended up staying in Louisville, Kentucky. We stayed at I guess I kind of got lucky. We got kind of like an apartment. It was just an apartment. I kind of expected a bed and breakfast type thing, but it's basically a hotel without any commodities other than whatever's there in the apartment. It was a nice apartment though. It was gorgeous. I mean, we had a beautiful view. The view was outstanding. The view from the apartment we were on the 7th floor. We were on the 7th floor, and if you look out the window, you could see all of downtown Louisville. You could see the river. What river is that? Is that guys, don't hate me if I'm totally mistaken here. I think it's the Mississippi River, if I'm not mistaken, or is it the Chattanooga? I don't know. It was a nice big river, gorgeous. There's ferry boats out there. It looked almost like you were back taking a you were like taken back to the past. I mean, it was just gorgeous. Anyways, it was awesome. The people were cool. Louisville was cool. We stopped at a few restaurants. We had some of the the wings. We had some of the food. I think we had like burgers one day. We also stopped by this place. It's Louisville Brewery, which is a really nice place. They have microbrewery there. It's an outstanding place. So very, very comfy, very, very nice little spot to stay for a few days. We basically did 3 days. The first day we stayed there we got there, was it Thursday night? Yeah, it was this is why I need a host. See, this is why I need a co-host. So we stayed there Thursday night. We just zonked out. Friday's when we went around town. We stayed pretty much local in the area. We ended up, oh, you know what? It was crazy. We had to end up, it was still cold in Kentucky. For whatever reason, there was a cold snap going on. And it's a little bit colder than Georgia because, at least for us, because it's north. So we had to get some gloves. We went to every store you can imagine, and they did not have gloves. We went to Walmart. We went to Target? Went to Target. We went to Kohl's. We went to Marshall's. We could not find gloves anywhere. And then finally, I told my fiance, I told her, you know what? Let's see if there's a Burlington coat factory. What? Finally, we got some gloves. So that's some free advertisement for you, Burlington. You can deposit the money in my account. Just send me an email. Anyways, we got some gloves finally, because we were going to be staying overnight at the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, and it gets kind of cold in there. Not much insulation except for concrete walls. Except they do actually. I was pretty impressed. They do have. They're finally starting to build what's supposed to be, I think, the future of a hotel they're going to be making over there. So there is some areas over there that are actually insulated with some sheetrock, but for the most part, the whole building is concrete. Most of it is. So we got our gloves. We went around town. We found our gloves at Burlington. We had dinner, and that's it. That Friday was crazy. We got back to the apartment. We were completely tired. We were exhausted. It was about 8:00, and we had to basically be ready by before 11. We had to be at Waverly Hills before 11 o'clock. Because they want you to get there 15 minutes early. So when it was our time to get there, we were kind of We were kind of worn out. We were actually falling asleep. So I had my monster drinks, and we tried pumping ourselves up with some caffeine, which we both just ended up probably taking like a couple of sips of our cans of Monster before we even got into the building. And then the rest of the stuff, we hit it so well inside the book bags that we ended up not even we didn't even drink them. We ended up not even drinking them. I guess, once you get into Waverly Hills, your adrenaline is just pumping so much. You're just so psyched about being there, and just the atmosphere, and the spiritual energy that's just is going on in there. You really don't need an energy drink. We kind of forgot about it. We even had snacks and everything, but they came in handy for the trip back home. So it worked out. The energy drinks, we didn't find until like the very next day because I buried the crap out of them inside those book bags. But anyways, the investigation was awesome, guys. We got there. They do a little introduction when you get there. Basically, you get there about 11. You go through this little parking area. You kind of go through some woods. I was kind of surprised to see a lot of residents around there. Probably within a half a mile or not even a half a mile radius from Waverly Hills. There's houses and I think there's like these little apartment buildings. Which it's just it's kind of cool that there's people living right around there, but there's no noise. I mean, then again, it was almost 12 o'clock midnight. So, anyways, you get there, you park your car, you get off, you go into like this area called it's quote unquote, it's like the laundry room. It looks like a big warehouse. You go in there. I don't want to give too much away. I don't know if I'm at the freedom of giving all that information away. You kind of have to sign a little waiver when you get over there. There is some fine print, so I'm not going to say too much of the format of the program at Waverly Hills. But I can definitely tell you that the people over there were awesome. I wouldn't say they were too social. There was not too much. You can tell everybody's a little bit on the tired side. I'm sure they're used to doing it, but basically you have to ask questions. You have to go over there, and if there's something you need or something you want to know, you have to talk to them. Mainly you watch a video. I'm not going to say too much about the video. They give you like a brief little introduction. It's what am I doing? I'm giving it away, aren't I? All right, let me just shut up. Okay, so anyways, you do the introduction. You go out of the building. You go out of the laundry room, which is at that big warehouse. It's right next to Waverly Hills building. The first place that we got to, you go down the stairs. You go down a little hallway right after you leave the warehouse. It's kind of dark. It wasn't pitch dark, but it was kind of dark already. We were standing in this hallway with our tour guide that was just basically going to do the presentation and let us go on our own. But when she took us down to the first area, just to give us a little bit more guidelines, I was looking around and it was freaking awesome, man. I was standing right next to the body chute, which was super cool. I was like, oh my God, really? I'm standing next to the body chute? This is so freaking awesome. So we were standing right next to the body chute, and she was just giving us a couple of tips and things to look out for, and a quick explanation of where we were at and the history of the building. She was very knowledgeable and very helpful, so it makes the experience a little bit better when you get a little bit of an insight of the location you're at and where you're standing, and somebody that's able to explain to you which floor served, what each floor is and the purpose that each floor served. So it's good to have somebody kind of just to fill you in. So we did that. We left the body shoot area. We didn't actually get into the body shoot yet. We basically went down the hallway. We went to the staircase. We started going up the staircase, and we're going up the staircase. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, when are we going to stop going upstairs? We just kept going up and up. I thought she was taking us up to the roof. Excuse me. But no, we went up we basically went up to the 5th floor. We ended up going to one of the first rooms that we wanted to, on the 5th floor. We walked into this room, and I kid you not, as soon as we walked into this room, I felt like just this pressure around me. If you've ever gone diving, if you've ever gone underwater, under probably about 15 or 20 feet, there's this pressure that you kind of feel. And that's the pressure that I felt in that room. I felt just kind of like this pressure that was kind of squeezing me in that room. And then it almost felt like my ears were ringing a little bit. Almost like that, like when you're in an airplane and your ears are getting used to the altitude. That's kind of how I felt. It was a very weird feeling. That's probably, honestly, that's probably the first time I felt that type of heavy, pressurized feeling. I've never felt like that before, but she did explain, while I felt like that, she started explaining that room is known to have a negative force. It was a surgery room on the 5th floor. It was the main surgery floor. So we were in that room. That right away when I felt that, I did feel an uneasy feeling. At the same time, when we walked out of that room, I was like, woohoo, cool. Game is on. That's kind of how I felt. My expectations were pretty high at that point, just because I could feel the spiritual energy, and I was expecting to hopefully catch something on video or get some EVPs. Now, I haven't totally checked I haven't actually scanned through my digital recorder to listen to the full recording. I haven't brushed it with a fine comb yet, so I still have to review that very, very closely and see if I do catch any disembodied voices. But I didn't really. I did play it back, some of it on the way back, and I didn't really hear anything come through. But anyways, I'm jumping back and forth. I'm sorry, guys. That's my ADHD. My bad. So, all right, we left the 5th floor, and then we basically split up. We were 2 teams. We stayed with our team, me and my fiance, and then 2 other couples. So that made 6 of us. The other couple that was with us, they kind of wandered off. They did their own thing, which is fine. I mean, that's mainly what you should do if you want to go over there and have a real good experience and be able to capture stuff. So it was me and my fiance and another couple that kind of teamed up a little bit with us. We basically ended up going to the 4th floor, and before we went to the 4th floor, we were told by the guide before she let us go that the 4th floor. I've already heard of. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but on the 4th floor, you're supposed to have shadow people. There's one that's they call him the creeper. I'm sure you guys that are familiar with this, you guys have probably heard about it before. There's the creeper, which is a really big shadow. And in fact, his shadow is so big that he actually, if there's any light in the hallway, he can actually he can actually morph and kind of makes, he kind of sucks the light out of any hallway he's in. Or he's just that big of a shadow that he can make that happen. And then there's another one, I think it's called the big creeper, or the big dark something. I know about the creeper. The other one, it was basically something else I heard over there. But the creeper is the notorious creeper. He lingers the halls of the fourth floor. So we were on the fourth floor. I can tell you that it was a very uneasy feeling on the fourth floor, but I didn't feel that negative. It didn't feel that bad. I really didn't get that scared. I can tell you though, there is one thing I noticed, and the hallway did get very dark. The moon was pretty bright that day. It was a full moon. It basically lit up whatever side that was facing towards the moon. That area would be nice and lit up. So you can see kind of an overcast of light hitting the hallway. So there was a little bit of light that you could kind of sort of guide yourself with in some of the building, in some areas of the building. But for the most part, when you're walking around the hallways, if you're in the middle of the hallway, it's dark. And if you go into some of the rooms, it's pitch dark. But anyways, I did notice that, and I have a picture, which I'm going to post on my website on parasitech.com. I have to get my pictures together. When I'm done doing this podcast, I'm going to also see if I can find everything and put it all together. But I do have a picture where it's the hallway. You could see where one of the pictures, the hallway is it's lit up, and it's using I was using my IR, my infrared, my night vision light. But then all of a sudden, even using the infrared, the hallway, it's like half of it is just it's just like dark, like a black hole, and then you can see kind of like part of it lit up. But it's almost like something is killing the light like halfway through the hallway. You would have to check out my picture. Again, that's parasitech.com. I'll post those pictures probably by this weekend. I'll have them up. There was also another picture that I took, and one picture, it's the clear hallway, and just a few seconds later I snap another picture, and there's this weird mist that's just kind of going across the hallway that you can't see with your naked eyes, because I didn't see that. But it looks like some kind of a weird, almost like somebody put a fog machine next to a door and drew fog from one door to the other. Pretty interesting. It could be an entity. It could be something that was traveling through there. It could be the quote unquote the creeper. I didn't see an actual creeper. I didn't see anything crawling the walls, like sometimes allegedly they say is over there. But the fourth floor was it was a little creepy. It was a little unnerving, but not. It wasn't. In my opinion, it wasn't too bad. Then I think we did the third floor, and we didn't really. I think the third floor we kind of played around with the ball with a little boy. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think his name is Timmy. I believe it's Timmy. So we tried getting him to play with the ball. I guess Timmy must have been kind of really not wanting to play with the ball. He must have been bored of that ball. He's like, dude, stop throwing that ball. I'm sick and tired of playing with the ball. So we didn't get anything with Timmy. Nobody wanted to play with the ball. We sat there, tried making him move it. So we didn't get any activity with the ball. What else? Third floor. We did go into we went into this area. It's kind of like a lobby, lounge area. Supposedly there is a spirit there that does not like women. Very mean spirit that scratches and pushes women. I went there and you're not allowed to do any type of provocation, but I did try to get the spirit to make itself known. I tried getting his name. I couldn't get any responses on the EVP. I used my phone. I used some of the applications on my phone. I did use the EchoVox. I got a few responses on the EchoVox, and I used another application on my phone. You guys are going to kill me. I can't remember the name of the application. I think it was the Banshee, I think it was. Or Banshee. I used Banshee, and the other one I used was Portal. I use those apps. It's funny. My PSP 7 was acting up. It was acting crazy. I've dropped that thing a couple times. So my PSP 7, excuse me, my PSP 7 was not wanting to work for me. Sometimes it turned on, sometimes it wouldn't. So I used Banshee, and I also used the Portal, which are apps that I have on. I have a second Android that I just use for apps, and I actually got really good answers through the Portal. Basically, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be frank. I'm not a huge fan of the person that uses the Portal all the time. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not a humongous fan of him, but the actual app itself, it came through that night and it worked. I got some really cool, freaking awesome responses on the Portal. It's basically what it does. It's got a bunch of it's got a big bank of just words, just a whole slew of words, and it plays those. I think it plays them in reverse. So if you hear the words are just basically just randomizing words being played in reverse real fast. So if you hear anything coming through, then definitely you've got something there. I'm gonna try to remember what it said. I believe it did say it was brought there, and it said it was killed there. The spirit was telling me that it was brought to that location next to the lobby, and it was killed. And it also said officer. So it sounded like something was brought there by an officer and it was killed. So that much I do remember. It was pretty cool because it was consistent. It basically it told me it was brought there, it told me it was killed, it told me it was an officer. So it's just too much of a coincidence for that not to be some type of a spiritual activity. I'm going to go ahead and get to the best part of everything. I'm going to skip everything else. This is my first podcast coming back after 4 months. I've had a crazy time trying to get this recording studio together. My next podcast is going to be. I'm hoping I can get this evidence together for you guys so I can play it back. But the grand finale is towards the end of Waverly Hills. We were taken to the body shoot. I was taken to the body shoot. I actually asked the guide. She came back to get us, and I actually asked her, hey, can we just get another 10 or 15 minutes? I just felt like I needed another 10 or 15 minutes there. She allowed us to. She's like, okay, sure. Do you guys want to check out where you want to check out? We were close to the body shoot, towards the exit. So I told her, heck yeah, let's check out the body shoot. We walked down this little hallway / it's like a tunnel hallway that goes to where the decline is. That goes down. It goes into the chute. So you're walking through this tunnel, and then you come up to this. You walk. I would say about maybe 20, maybe 15, 20 yards down just a tunnel, and then you come to this area that just goes straight down. Well, not straight down. It's just a gradual decline, like there's a set of stairs on one side, and it's creepy as hell. It's just a flat surface on the other, and you could tell it looks like a slide, and obviously that was for the bodies or the coffins. So it's concrete. It's been there forever. You can tell that they purposely build that to take coffins down. Freaky as hell, man. It's just freaky. It's cool. So we went down the hallway. We got to that area where it goes down, and we were looking down the tunnel, and the guide was telling us it's up to us. It's up to our discretion to go down the actual chute. To walk down there. I guess she was going to let us go, and we only had a few minutes. We had about 15 minutes to go. I'm guessing she was going to let us just go and then exit the building. I don't know. But she gave us the option to go down. She was telling us, though, she basically kind of threw a curveball at us and let us know that there was a wolf spider that was hanging out towards the end of towards the middle of the tunnel. So that pretty much does it for that, because my fiance is not going to go down the tunnel with a wolf spider. I am kind of scared of spiders too, but I was thinking of doing. I was even telling everybody, I'm like, well, if we use our flashlights, we can just kind of stay clear of the spider. I wanted to go down. We were just standing there. We were looking down, and then all of a sudden, while she was telling us about a ghost light that sometimes is spotted at the bottom of the body chute, right when she was talking about the ghost light, I kid you not, there was it looked like something was trying to make itself physical. It was morphing. It was using all its energy to try to do something. You see kind of like a transparent glow kind of coming up, and I think it was it the guy that spotted it or somebody else spotted it? I'm not sure now, but somebody spotted the light, and we looked down there, and that little light started morphing into a apparition. We kept looking at it. I was staring at it, and I was so stoked. I was so freaking that was awesome. I kept looking at it. I actually had a laser. I have a really strong laser. It's a green laser. It's like the ones that you use to if you're giving a presentation that you use to point at the chalkboards, or point at the whatever presentation board. Really extremely strong laser, and it goes super far away. I pointed the laser down, and the laser, again, I kid you not, that laser would stop right at where that light was shining. As a matter of fact, it would kind of light it up even more. This thing started coming upstairs, and it was kind of swaying from side to side. I kept looking at it, and what it looked like to me was it looked like a woman. It looked like a woman with a dress. It looked like an old nurse's dress, or like an old, like the nuns with the hood, the hooded nuns. It looked like a hooded nun coming up the stairs, and she was kind of going from side to side. And it looked like, it's so beautiful because you could see the arms and the shoulder and the rest of the body, and it kind of looked like a butterfly, like that, kind of like a, I don't want to say butterfly effect because that's something else, but she had kind of like this wavy little butterfly thing going on, going up this. It was just floating up the stairs very gradually. It was so cool. My fiance finally saw it. She said my big fat head was in the way though. So, she said she didn't really see the whole thing, but she did see something, which is fine with me because at least she saw something. I had my eyes glued on it. It was coming up. The guide was also telling the light. it was a her. You can clearly see that it was a woman, but she was telling it, come on, it's time to go to work. Come on, you have to get ready for work. You have to come up here. Come on, you can do it. And we were taunting it to come up, and this thing just kept climbing up the stairs. And it was just awesome, it wasn't a full-bodied apparition, but it started to turn into like a half a body apparition. And it was just coming upstairs. That was good. That made my night. I was happy. At least I got to see that. A few other little odd things happened over there. Again, I have to review my videos. I haven't actually gotten a chance to look at everything. It's only been a few weeks. And I've been really super duper busy, but I'm going to look over everything. And definitely if I spot anything super cool that I want to show you guys, I want to share with my Parasitech guys, I'm going to put it on my website, parasitech.com. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me for this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back next time. Hopefully I'll do an investigation before my next one. I'll have some evidence for you. And if I can find anything with my Waverly Hills evidence, I'll definitely show you guys that. You guys have an awesome, incredible day. Thank you so much again. Take care.